is up here in Canada. Well, hello, Canada. It's your Uncle Clark. And on today's episode, we have one half of Canada's most athletic and inspirational couple of all time, Hal Johnson from BodyBreak with Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod. Can you believe this? Now, Hal has been Canada's upbeat and in-shape dad since 1988, encouraging millions of Canadians to keep fit and have fun with him and Joanne's BodyBreak commercials and now YouTube videos that are as much a part of Canadian culture as the beaver itself. Heck, their catchphrase, keep fit and have fun, is even more recognizable than Justin Trudeau's moist hair. Now, Hal was kind enough to sit down and chat with me over Zoom about how BodyBreak got started, how he's dealt with racism and inequality in Canada, how Joanne reacted when he shaved off his mustache, and a whole lot more, so don't go anywhere. Up next is the 10th episode of Up Here in Canada, and I could not be more excited. Yeah, Up Here in Canada, the podcast.
This episode of Up Here in Canada is brought to you by the actual host of this podcast and Clark's twin brother, Jordan. Now, let's say you have a script for your video or radio ad that needs to be voiced by one of Canada's finest male voiceover artists. Well, look no further than Jordan, who has clients like McDonald's, Calvin Klein, Red Bull, The Bay, Netflix, Nintendo, Budweiser, Apple, Microsoft. Chances are you've heard Jordan's voice on many commercials already, covering everything from a college student to a caring father to your relatable everyday guy next door and even to old-time radio announcers. Jordan can bring your project to life with a level of service and quality that only Morgan Freeman himself can challenge. To learn more, go to jordanweiberg.com today. That's JordanWeiberg.com. And now here's your host, Clark W.
Hey, Hal, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Great, okay. Clark should be here. I don't know where he is. I'm just going to give him a quick call.
Yeah. Okay then. Well.
Clark here.
Clark, it's Jordan. Wait, where are you?
Hey, Jordan. Sorry, I can't. I'm out here riding back with Joanne McLeod of BodyBreak. We're training for a marathon.
But okay, are you on your way to the studio? We've got this podcast with Hal Johnson.
Hey, is Hal? Is he on the line?
Hey, Clark, it's Hal.
Oh, hey Hal. Sorry I can't be there today, but
No problem.
Joanne was kind enough to agree to train me for this marathon for the back part of it, and you gotta keep fit and have fun for these marathons. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So I can't be there, but hold on. Joanne wants to say something.
Hey, Hal, it's garbage day today, so don't forget to wheel out the bins, okay?
No worries. Right on it.
Oh, she's in better shape than I am, I'll tell you that. I don't know how she's not out of breath, but okay. Well, I can't wait to hear it, and you boys stay beauty, and wish me luck. We got a hill coming up here. I gotta save my breath.
Yeah, you guys keep fit and have fun.
Okay. Later.
Yeah, later, Clark. Okay, so Clark will not be here today because he is training for a marathon with Joanne. You know what? I'm not even mad. I'm actually impressed because he's talked a lot about wanting to do a marathon, so it's nice to see him finally following through with that. So, Hal, it's me and you.
It sounds good to me, Jordan.
Okay, first of all, I just thank you so much for being on the show today. I mean, this is hilariously wonderful to me that a Canadian icon like you would take the time to chat with, well, me now, I guess. So I just thank you so much for being here.
Well, my pleasure. It's not a problem at all. It's going to be fun.
Okay. Well, the first thing I would like to know is when and why did you decide to shave off your mustache? Like, that was such an iconic part of my growing up years. And I know it wasn't too long ago, was it?
No, I actually shaved it off about 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Okay.
And then I grew it back. I grew it back, and then I shaved it off again. Mm-hmm. I'm a low, just like Clark, I'm a low maintenance guy. And it was starting to get a little bit more gray than and it was like I could be going for Santa Claus would be really good, so I just was and I originally grew the mustache when I was with Team Canada, and all the players we were in Japan playing, and all of us grew Fu Manchus because in respect to being in Japan.
Yeah.
And it made us look older and tougher.
Wow.
And,
yes, absolutely.
And so, when you're, dipping into your late 50s at the time, looking older is not one of the things that you're striving for. So that's kind of, that was the kind of long and short of it.
Okay. I remember my dad had a full facial hair my whole life. And then one day he came out into the living room completely shaven and I cried. My sister cried. We were all shocked. So, well, what did Joanne think when you shaved your mustache off? How did she react?
Well, we were in Vail. I had shaved it off a couple of times. I think it was in 1997 or something like that, or whatever. I shaved it off, and we were in Vail just because we were going to be gone for a couple months, and we were driving down to San Diego. And I thought, I'm just going to shave the mustache off. And so I shaved it off in Vail, and I walked out, and she screamed and ran away. She goes, "You're somebody else. You're somebody else."
It is remarkable how different a man can look when he gets rid of his facial hair for the first time. Okay, so you have always seemed like this incredibly positive, inspirational, go-get-'em kind of guy to me. My question is, have you always been a naturally positive kind of person, or is that something you had to work towards with discipline and now it's easy, or is it something you have to continue to work towards?
Well, I think you have to continue because it's so easy, especially nowadays. It's so easy to get down. So it's something that you have to constantly, think about in terms of, like I gotta be a good day today. I mean, it's like one of the things that I learned at an early age was that let's say, for example, you get cut off. You're driving the road, you get cut off. And then you get all angry and upset. And then that leads to a much more negative situation potentially because of that anger and being upset. So it's like, well, don't let one bad thing kind of multiply and go to another bad thing. And then it'll get worse and worse and worse. So that's kind of always, I've had that kind of thought process of always keeping things, in a positive way. But also, it's like, I know I'm doing a lot of talks now about racism and how do you stay positive and those sorts of things. And it really comes down to this is how the game was played. I figured out how the game was played and I played it. And that's kind of, so it wasn't, I never really thought about, I've got to be really positive today. I've got to, I guess back, in the 70s, whatever it might be, 70s, 80s, you didn't dissect things the way they do now, so that it's really, it's every day you get up, you have a choice. Is it you're the one who makes it a good day or a bad day? Yeah. So it's your choice. Yeah. So I choose good. It's a lot more fun.
I love that. What really fascinated me about your video that recently went viral, where you explain how BodyBreak got started, and you were back in the day you were hired at TSN, and then you were let go the very same day because the guy above the guy who hired you, said they already have a black reporter, so they don't want another one. You took that, negative experience, turned it around, and used it to accomplish something that, the rest of Canada and has greatly benefited from. Where did you learn to not immediately jump to the worst conclusions about someone when something like that happens? And where did you learn to turn a negative experience into something positive?
Well, my dad went through a lot worse than I've ever gone through. And so, and like I said earlier, it's about how do you navigate in the system. If you're calling everybody that you meet and everything that happens to you negative is because it's racially motivated in terms of that person doesn't like whatever, Asians, blacks, Jews, whatever it might be. You're being hung up all day with that. And so what I've always thought, okay, this is, my attitude has always been, there's always a way. I don't care what you're doing. I do a lot of, plumbing and all kinds of handyman stuff, put in decks, do all kinds of stuff. And there's always a way you can get things done. There's always roadblocks. And if you look at that, look at life as a series of hurdles as opposed to a series of walls. So that I look at it as, a hurdle you got to go over. And so that's how I looked at it. So I didn't get hung up on what the result of what he told me. I got focused on, okay, how do I get over this hurdle?
Yes.
And that turns it into positive energy, as opposed to staying in that Myers, oh, woe is me, I'm the victim. And I think, and it's just a difference. And I don't blame millennials. I think I think they've done a great job, or the society now has done a great job in changing the game, so that we don't put up with the same stuff that I had to put up with. But this is so like a lot of millennials will ask me this. Well, gee, how could you take that? How could you not get angry? How could you? And I go, that's the game. That's the game as it was. So you go, okay, here are the rules. Here's the game. I can try to change the game, or I can try to work within the game to make it better. And that's what I kind of subconsciously did. I just kind of looked at it that way. So it wasn't really kind of a conscious effort. It was just I saw the struggles that my dad went through, the difficulties he had throughout all these years. And I look also, and again, your video that you did, up here in Canada. I mean, it really was. It was so good because I've always felt that way. I've always felt that Canada is the best place to live in the world. I've always felt that, is that we have our shortcomings, we have our ignorance. I would say Canada is more ignorant than it is racist in that respect. But imagine being a child born in India, or in Brazil, or in Argentina, or Mexico. Your opportunities are so limited. In Canada, regardless of who you are, we have so many opportunities. I had I worked in the States for a number of years before I started BodyBreak, and I know the U.S. is based on slavery in a racist country, and it's showing itself right now. Canada's different, and I'm so proud to be a Canadian, and so I look at what people say, kind of negatively about Canada in terms of, the police have to get better, and yes, they do, and there's got to be things, but we're not at the same level at all as the U.S.
Not even close.
Not even close. Like when I go to the U.S., I don't drive at night. Because you don't want to be stopped. You are assumed to be a criminal, especially if you're driving a nice car. It was interesting. I bought a pickup truck, right? So I felt okay when I was driving down there last year. I thought, well, I'll be a little bit okay because I'm in a pickup truck. So it's like. Now pickup trucks, it was probably more expensive than a car, but it set off a kind of a different vibe than driving down in a Mercedes.
No kidding. I mean, I always feel so out of my depth in these conversations. I have had little to no experience fighting any of the stuff that you've had to deal with. But I touching on the Canada versus the States, I think a lot of it is ignorance. It's not, completely ignorance, but on a general scale, I would say it is. But like in Clark's video, for example, 99.9% of the comments have been very positive and people love it. But there are a few people every now and then who say we failed to represent Canada's diversity enough. We didn't, there's too many white people. We didn't put in enough Indigenous people. There's like no pictures of Quebec because, we've spent like 3 hours of our life in Montreal and that was it. I have no experience outside of that, but none of it is, if we missed anything, it's not, out of ill will. It's just, it is ignorance.
Yeah, I mean, I think that from the video again, I was very proud, and when I saw it, and the day that I guess you released it, I got a whole bunch of people sent it to me, say, hey, you're in this video. I go, oh, okay, I'll take a look at it later. And I liked the song; it was great, and what you put in there was. Yeah, it was very representative, and what you were representing your and Clark's vision of Canada, because that's the world you live in.
Yeah,
and so and there are kind of iconic things of Canada that you showed.
Yeah,
and I guess if you lived in Toronto, you might have showed something different.
Yeah, exactly.
And so so I mean it's. I look at it as it's not to be faulted, because that was your vision of what it meant to you, right? In that respect, would it have been nice, but would it have been nice to be, say, more diverse? But that wasn't that's not your vision of Canada. That's not your experience of the country.
My experience, exactly.
And I would think that you were not totally surprised, but you were like, wow, this is kind of taking off a little more than I thought it might. And it's really I've been in meetings, like literally hundreds of meetings with marketing people, ad executives, advertising agencies, and they don't. Like, this is back in the 90s and early 2000s and whatever, and they don't think about it because they don't have friends that are East Indian, or they don't have friends that are black, right? And so when they think in terms of white, because that's their experience. And so that's fine. That's their experience. And what I tried to do, and Joanna tried to do with BodyBreak, is really say, understand. I understood at a very early age that the medium of television, and now YouTube and all social media, that medium carries a lot of influence and influences a lot of people to not only to make change, but it also gives people a sense of identity. When I was 10 years old, back in 1966, I was given a bag of golf balls and an old 9-iron. And I went and hit that ball back and forth at the high school around the corner. And I got pretty good at it, and I got pretty excited about playing some golf. And I happened to watch the Masters on TV for the very first time. And I watched it, I go, oh, I guess I'm not allowed to play. Because all the caddies are black and the players are white. So understanding the medium, it has so much power that, and then we set out to change it in a subtle respect. Now, as I said, would it have related to me, your video, more if it had say more Aboriginal people in it? Well, that wouldn't relate to me, but it would relate to the Aboriginal society, So,
So I didn't mean to make this conversation about my video here. Sorry about that. Can I say that I was actually chatting with, I think, my brother about this the other day, that watching you and Joanne on BodyBreak from probably the age of 4 or 5 for me till today, you guys were probably the only exposure in my life and most of the people I knew, as far as like a multi-race couple and because of that, like I just grew up and never even thought anything of it. Well, like, of course, like why not, right? But I got thinking, what did my parents think of that? What did my grandparents think of that? Like, I grew up in a very white, conservative bubble. And had I not seen you and Joanne so at ease, being this mixed race couple, exercising, doing all this stuff, I wonder what I would have thought of that as an adult seeing that for the first time. So I think for me and a lot of people I know growing up in the same generation, seeing you guys all the time, it was just, you normalized something that perhaps wasn't normal before. And my goodness, thanks for having the courage to do that.
Well, thank you. I guess what we think of ourselves more like a Trojan horse. Mm-hmm. And I've often thought, like, we come in, you think what we're talking about is all fitness, mm-hmm. but it's all about trying to make the country a better place to be for everybody, and to open people's eyes up. So that's really what our focus was. And so every script that we did, we looked at, okay, what are we doing? Okay, we're doing gardening. Okay, mm-hmm. What are we going to do? Okay, we're going to do a stretch. Okay, this is going to be for seniors. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we've got to get let's get an East Indian person doing mm-hmm. gardening. Yeah. And so we'll bring them in as so we would go to a casting agency that would have persons with disabilities mm-hmm. and people of different races. Mm-hmm. And we specifically have those people as extras or mm-hmm. B-roll shots in our show. Yeah. It just seems so easy to do. Yeah. Because you're not selling. When you're selling soap, why are you selling? Is white people the only people that use soap? and so that always amazed me. Is that we just made it part of the landscape. Yeah. And it just, now it seems relatively normal. Mm-hmm. But mm-hmm. back then, it was anything but normal. Yeah. And so we don't think of ourselves as trailblazers or anything like that. We were just Hal and Joe, mm-hmm. had a vision, had an idea, and the big part of it for us mm-hmm. is that we enjoyed the ride. Yeah. We enjoyed doing all that stuff. Yeah. We produced it, we wrote it. Joanne did all the editing. Yeah. So we do all the production of it. Mm-hmm. So it's our baby, BodyBreak. Yeah. And now we've turned to YouTube and doing things on YouTube, and it's kind of fun. And so we were kind of YouTube before there was YouTube, and just putting up free content, and so I look at our journey and our ride, mm-hmm. and all we look at is and say, if people were helped along the way, both from a fitness perspective, but hopefully we, subconsciously showed them that we can all live, work, and play together, and make a great country even greater. Yeah. Then we've accomplished something.
Oh, you guys are such beauties. I know you don't call yourselves trailblazers per se, but I would certainly throw you in that camp for the work that you guys have done.
Well, it's funny. From faxes and regular mail, because mm-hmm. that's what we would get. Mm-hmm. 99.9% of it was so super positive. Yeah. The only negative mail we got was from Winnipeg, and I don't know why, and the person would include the postmark. Like it was like, oh no, and these were like kind of death threats. Black should not be with it. I'm thinking, what a moron! I've got the postmark Winnipeg. I actually had to keep those and gave them to the RCMP. But
well, it's so cold in Winnipeg. You can't blame the guy. He's got to complain about something.
But Winnipeg supported us so much over the years. That was the funny thing. Everybody we've had such good fortune to go from coast to coast to coast so often and so much, literally from Yellowknife to St. John to St. John's to Victoria, Hay River, everywhere in Canada that we would have never gotten if we'd just been our 9-to-5 jobs. Yeah,
well, thank you for doing what you guys have done. So the stage of life that you're in now, I mean, are you somewhat retired but still staying active? I mean, I know you guys do your YouTube stuff, and I know you speak a lot, but are you slowing down at all and gardening more and golfing more, or what are you up to?
Well, to Joanne's chagrin, mm-hmm. I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah. And so as far as Joanne's concerned, all she wants to do is ride the bike, go for a run, go for a swim. She just, we both love doing that stuff. Yeah. In fact, after doing the interview here, we're going up for a walk. We did an 1.5-hour ride this morning, and now we're going for an hour walk this afternoon with the dogs.
Guys, such an inspiration.
But that's fun. That's fun for us, right? But I'm an entrepreneur, and mm-hmm. and through chaos, which we're in right now, mm-hmm. comes opportunity. Yeah. And so I got an idea We belong to a speaking bureau, and obviously we do lots of speeches across the country, but those are on hold right now.
Yeah.
And so I got an idea that companies were calling us and saying, "Oh, could you guys do a little thing for us, or come on and like in our Zoom meeting and whatever." So we've been filming a whole bunch of segments.
Oh, okay.
And so I'll send you a link to them. And so companies actually, we brand them to those companies. So in your Zoom call, then you'll have a BodyBreak.
Yeah.
And what we did is we took a desk.
Yeah.
And we went to like a golf course and put the desk like as if we're doing a Zoom call.
I saw that post on Instagram. I wondered what you were doing. Yeah.
Right. And we put computers there, and then we did it. We went to a field, and then we did a series of them where it's like we're plopping this desk like we're doing a Zoom call, and then we do whether it be eye exercises or a warm up.
Yeah.
We went to an island, literally an island, and we shot a whole warm up there. So these are like 3 to 4 minutes in length.
Yeah.
And that people can use them in their Zoom calls.
Yeah.
And so companies have been, calling us and purchasing them to use them in their Zoom calls. So
that is
again,
so cool.
It's just a fun thing to do. I do most of the drone operating, and and it's fun, So
you're into like the tech stuff, aren't you? Like you're very you love all that stuff.
I do.
Yeah.
I love it a lot.
So you said, I didn't know that you and Joanne had done like all the editing and writing and everything from day one. Has your production of your spots changed since COVID, or has it always just been you two?
It's always, well, no, it hasn't always been us. Like we had our crew that we would hire, a shooter, a sound guy, and and a grip, and we would Claude Garapi shot our stuff for the first 12 years, and then Michael Strange shot it after that, and so we've usually have shooters, but obviously. But we got some. We have all of our own gear, cameras, and things like that, so we can operate them. I've got a remote control, a hit remote, and do the white balance, and away we go. Especially now with COVID and stuff's also stuff for YouTube isn't as spec heavy as it was for broadcasts that we were doing. So we can get away with a lot more, and cameras and so forth are so good today. Yeah. That we can shoot a lot of stuff, and we can shoot it at our leisure. So we've got a couple of things we're going to be shooting for the seniors group about the Frailty Network, it's called, and we've shot 5 for them already. We're shooting a couple more. Yeah. And so, like I said, we have some fun. We do it at our own pace. Yeah. We don't have to if we don't want to, but and it's my goal was to get we just started our YouTube channel. Yeah. As far as Joanne's concerned, she doesn't really want to do the YouTube at all. But we're releasing all of our BodyBreak episodes on our YouTube channel every week. We're coming up with some new our old BodyBreaks are going up. We're also going to put our 39 half-hour shows up. And then my goal was, this year we started out, I think we had like 300 subscribers. So the goal was by the end of the year to get to 3,000. Well, so now we're at 2,700, almost 2,800.
Oh, there you go.
So it's like, okay, my new goal. I want to, I got to get to 6,000. By the, so it's just fun.
So goals. You've mentioned that a couple times in the last minute or two. I mean, obviously you're a very competitive, motivated guy. What do you do for goals? Are you just like constantly like got to get this, or do you sit down and write down, okay, this is where I want to be at this point, and these are the steps that I need to do to achieve that? Or is it just kind of an instinct thing that you do on a daily basis and you're like, I'll do this?
Yeah, it's more just instinct, I guess you could call it. I'm not really, sit down and say, I want to do this. Yeah. It's really that my goal for each day is to enjoy that day. Once that day is gone, you can't get it back.
Yeah.
And the older you get, the more you realize that. And that's certainly something that I'm just trying to enjoy each day that I have. And I'm trying to learn.
Yep.
Like I said, from the YouTube perspective, I've now embraced YouTube and kind of gone into it and started to learn all about it. And I'm looking all of these young YouTubers and what they do and viewing a lot of stuff, and I'm learning. You know, it's even though I'm an old dog, I like to learn new tricks. So it's and it's fun. I mean, it's enjoyable talking to people like yourself. You know, not Clark, not so much, but
he's busy.
But no, it is fun, and so I think that's the. You know, I know that back in 1988 when I wrote the script and I had to figure out kind of like a tagline at the end. I was thinking, okay, what can I say? And I go, well, what's this about? It's about trying to keep fit and have fun, and that's kind of been my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, I want to keep fit, keep active, and have fun.
Oh, that is so cool. I mean, it's such an iconic. You just say keep fit, and then anyone in Canada will be like, and have fun. Like everyone knows it. That is so cool. Talking about like how busy and active and motivated you're staying. I have seen a number of, I guess, men particularly in my life who have either retired early or have, you know, hit the typical retirement age and just kind of, honestly, just kind of shut down as a human being. Like they've kind of turned into a former, like a shell of who they used to be. They have no direction. They don't have any hobbies. They don't have any. It's so to hear. Like, I know you're not retired, but like I know people who have retired, you know, well before where you are at now, and they don't do anything. And so you're like, yeah, we went for an hour and a half bike ride. We're gonna go for a swim and a walk and a hike, and it's just like, do you think the key to a content and fulfilling life is actually regular exercise and activity?
Oh, absolutely. You know, if you rest, you rust.
Okay.
And so, you know, our health is the number one thing that we have. And as we get older, we even know that more and more. So that's really something that you know, it's just part of our life. Like it's not like that's not like I get up in the morning and go, I'm gonna have to work out today.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be okay. How do I? What am I going to do to move my body today?
Right.
And when we don't do. And that's what Joanne, her big hesitation even about, you know, doing filming and stuff, because it interferes with it's so time consuming to film and edit and so forth.
Right.
It interferes with our activity.
Yeah.
So my biggest problem is I don't have enough time. You know, like I just want to do stuff.
I want to be like you, man. This is inspiring. You know what? I have to say, since you called, when was it? A week or two ago, I think. I have been running myself. I am now. I go for a 1.5 to 2 kilometer run every night, and I force myself to do at least 100 push-ups a day. And this is like just something that I've never ever done with my life. And I got to say, just hearing the difference that regular exercise. Talking to you and talking to other men I know and seeing the difference in attitudes and lifestyles has really made me want to do this whole exercise thing regularly. So there you go. The proof is in the pudding, Hal. You've had an influence directly on me.
Well, that's great. I think what you have to look at is that in reference to COVID, and people don't talk about this that much because it sounds like you're blaming the victim. But when they talk about underlying conditions, one of the major underlying conditions is obesity, and that's why a lot of people are dying.
Yeah.
And so, you know, in the United States, it's the most obese country in the world.
Right.
And so you've got a lot of people who are getting COVID, who are obese, who are dying. Obesity puts so much strain on your immune system. And there's the highest rate of diabetes in the world. Yeah. Now, Canada is better but not a whole heck of a lot better. So, but so that's what we say that, and I'm actually going to be doing some live streaming about that. I'm going to again, another fun thing to do, just to do some live streams. I have never done that before.
Yeah, nerve-wracking.
And talk about foods you can eat to boost your immune system, that sort of thing. So
that's all. Okay, so let's say exercise or body break was not a thing in your life. Is there another area of life that you're passionate about, or another career that you think, you know what, if this hadn't have been the path I would have gone down, I would have gone down this path?
Probably computers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm a real computer guy.
Yep.
And probably computers. I would be the. I find it very interesting, and again, I just love to learn.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, I love to learn. I kind of wanted to be the general manager of the Blue Jays. That didn't seem to work out.
Well, not yet. Not yet. Yeah.
Not yet. Yeah. I still think I could. I mean, I could do the job.
Absolutely.
I'm very, very confident in that. So
yeah. Okay.
So
well, the Blue Jays, I did see a fact, then this shocked me, but then also didn't shock me. Oh. You were once the captain of your high school football, baseball, hockey, and basketball team. Is that a Guinness World Record? Like, did you look into that?
No. I was just, I just love sports.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just what I love to do. It was just kind of natural.
Yep.
At the time, I wasn't nearly as much into school and in learning. And when I got to university, it kind of all changed around, and I really got into learning and understanding, and I had the opportunity to have a full scholarship at the University of Colorado, and that that opportunity gave me. I took advantage of it.
Yeah. What courses, did you major in something at university?
Oh, yeah. I majored in, I got a business degree and a minor in economics.
Okay.
So I got
that
two
makes
degrees,
sense.
one in business and one in economics.
That is why you are such a successful athlete and businessman. That makes sense.
And I must say I had a lot of fun in university. So it was...
Hey, between football, baseball, hockey, and basketball, is there one in particular that you gravitate towards more, that you're either a bigger fan of or that you love playing?
I love. I still play hockey now, so that's kind of my go-to activity is playing hockey.
Okay.
Now, but I've kind of fallen out of watching as much, like watching sports or being like an avid fan.
Yeah.
I'm more of a kind of come into the playoffs and watch stuff, but I'm not live and die by it like I used to be. But I'm more. I'd rather go for a hike. I'd rather go. Yeah. I'd rather go do something. I'd rather move my body in some respect and in some way than in other ways.
Than watch other people move their bodies. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's exactly why I'm trying to be as active as possible and doing things. So it really is I find like it might be like too long too much time just sitting around watching TV.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I always think back to like a pair of shoes the best shoes I ever had, and I remember they were blue and white Nike high tops when I was 5. You've had a lot of shoes. Is there like Forrest Gump had his shoes? Do you have a pair of shoes that you think back on? Those were my favorite pair of shoes.
Oh, my Converse basketball shoes.
Oh yeah,
my high top Converse basketball.
High top Basketball. What color were they?
They were white.
White. Okay.
White. Yeah.
Okay.
Those were my shoes. But they had no support, nothing. But they look cool.
Yeah.
So that was the big thing. Yeah.
Okay. Can you recall a standout positive moment in your life career where it was not an out-of-body experience necessarily, but you looked at the situation, you looked at yourself, and you were in this situation, and you said, I can't believe this is actually happening. Like wow, how did we get here in a positive way?
Yeah, I think two times.
Yep.
Maybe it's even more than that, but one in Japan when we were on the field at about 80,000 people in Japan in the stands, and the anthems are playing, and I look around and I go, and I said, wow, and I know when we were on the start line of the Amazing Race, that was like, oh, it kind of pinched me. This is so much fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. I have a bunch of random quicker questions, but a lot of people have wondered, like, are Hal and Joanne married? I know you guys are married. You have a daughter. It's less of a thing now than it used to be, but how did you guys actually get engaged? Can I ask that?
I don't think we were ever engaged.
Okay.
I think, I don't remember. I just said, hey, do you want to get married? She says, yeah, okay. And when do you want to do it? I go, a couple weeks. Because we've been living together for 12 years. So it was like, and she was pregnant with her daughter. So it was like, do you want to do it? Might as well.
Might as well.
Yeah. So we did it. We did it in our dining room, and we invited people over for a book launch. Oh yeah. And they didn't even know we're getting married. So
you got married with the people who thought they were there for the book launch.
That's right. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Quicker questions here. If you could own any object in the world, money didn't. You had you're Jeff Bezos. What would you snag? What object? One object.
Plane.
A plane. What kind of plane?
Probably, I'd love a 787.
Okay. Yeah. And what color would you paint that plane?
I'd make it discreet, because that's kind of how so it would be kind of just no markings at all. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Okay. This is, I'm guessing, a very hard one for you. Do you have a favorite meal?
I have a go-to when I can't figure out what I'm going to eat.
Okay.
That's beans. Baked beans.
Baked beans. Okay.
Baked beans. I'm sure Clark and I are on the same page.
Absolutely.
With that.
Both bean men. Absolutely. Okay. What about your top 3 favorite bands? Do you listen to music when you exercise?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay.
It's totally part of it. The first one by far would be Earth, Wind and Fire.
Okay.
The second one would be let's see, from a band perspective.
Or just, solo artist, like just, yeah.
Well, so my favorites are Teddy Pendergrass, Barry White, and Earth, Wind and Fire.
Nice. Teddy Pendergrass, Barry White, Earth, Wind and Fire. Beautiful. Okay. Your favorite place in the world you've been to, you've visited?
My favorite place, I would say the top of the mountain at Lake Louise.
Oh, which like the one at the end of the lake?
At the ski. Ski hill at Lake Louise.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That's one of my favorite ski hills. Okay, describe your ideal weekend.
See, getting up, working out, going for a really good bike ride, or hike, and then having a really hearty, good lunch, and then maybe playing golf in the afternoon.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Do you have a favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
There you go. Classic. Okay. One thing you've gotten better at over the past 5 years?
Patience.
I'm sure Joanne is appreciative of that one. If you had to be stuck in a previous decade forever, which decade would you be stuck in?
This one.
This one? So 2020 going forward, or the previous decade?
The previous decade, with Obama as president.
Yes, there you go. Okay, the last piece of art that left an impression on you, and that's, painting, movie, music, cars, something that really left an impression on you.
I'd say the Tesla.
Oh, okay. Which model?
The sedan.
Oh, okay.
The X. Yeah, the X.
And if you were to own a Tesla, what color would you get?
Black.
Black. Nice. Okay. Okay. Favorite place to visit in Canada?
Banff.
Banff. Okay. Beauty. Out of these classic Canadian foods, which one would you snag right now? Poutine, Nanaimo bar, something with maple syrup, or ketchup chips?
Nanaimo bar, by far.
Nice.
Like not even close. Not even close. My mom makes them every year.
Oh yeah.
And it's that's my go-to.
Oh, awesome. Okay. If you could have any famous, recognizable, impactful Canadian over for dinner, who would it be?
Trudeau.
Trudeau. As in,
yeah.
Justin, obviously, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
hopefully he's alive.
Yeah. Why would you want to have him over?
Two reasons. I'd want to first find out, like, when did he know about the COVID, and also just he seems like a nice person, and so it's. Sometimes he makes bad choices, but seems like a nice person. So it's kind of, I respect what he does. He's done in many instances. Yeah. I really respected when he brought over 25,000 Syrians, and I felt very proud of being Canadian by opening our doors.
Absolutely.
And that made me as a Canadian feel. So he made me, what he did as an act made me feel better about myself, which a leader of a country or any leader should strive to do.
Oh, that's beautiful. I felt the exact same way when that happened. Okay, if you could go anywhere in the world for 24 hours, travel is not included in this. You get somewhere, you have 24 hours. Where would you go? Who would you take with you? And what would you do while you're there?
We can only be there for 24 hours?
Yeah, just 24 hours, just a day.
New Zealand.
Okay.
And we would go to the South Island, and we would cycle from the top to the bottom of the South Island of New Zealand.
Is that something you have done or that you want to do?
Well, we were planning on doing it until COVID, so that's something definitely want to do.
Okay. All right. Two more questions. Second last one is, what would you do if you had zero responsibilities to anyone and unlimited resources for an entire year? What would you pursue? What would you do?
I would kind of do what I'm doing.
I was going to guess that. I was going to guess that. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, there's nothing I really want.
Yeah.
In fact, Joanne and I were talking about that we have, if we got, flush with $10 million or something like that, it wouldn't change our life or lifestyle in the least.
That's incredible.
Especially now with COVID. I mean, we can't go anywhere, and and like the biggest things we love to do is hike. Like we went to Ireland 4 years ago, and we hiked for. Went 150 kilometers through the mountains in 4 days, and that was just like there's no price on it. Like it was spectacular. We're pretty simple people, I guess, in a sense. Our needs are pretty minimal, and I like being handy and doing stuff, putting in a new deck, as I said, and doing things like that. So not extravagant by any means.
That's incredible. Yeah, I think you are definitely one of the first person on this podcast to answer the question, just keep doing what I'm already doing, with that question. That's incredible. Okay, last question. What brings you the most joy in your life? Like when do you feel the most alive?
What brings me the most joy is when my daughter is happy.
Oh.
And therefore, I'm not stressed about things. When she's not happy, when your child's not happy, you're not happy.
Yeah.
So it's that's the biggest thing that does it for me. So
once again, such a beautiful answer. Okay, well, Hal, I mean, like I said at the beginning of this This is ridiculous that I'm having this conversation with you. You are a Canadian legend, both you and Joanne. My goodness, thank you so much for and again, I'm sorry that Clark couldn't be with us, but at least he was with Joanne, so it's kind of like he was with us.
Well, just tell Clark, until next time, keep fit and have fun.
Absolutely, I will. Thanks so much, Hal. I'll talk to you next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.